Good morning. I welcome you all to the series of lectures on internal combustion engines. Today our topic is combustion in SI engine. See, this is a very important topic as far as internal combustion engine is concerned, that petrol engine. See the combustion, and that too the stages of combustion in SI engine. See, after suction stroke, when the piston starts move upward, that means during compression the gas is compressed. So that means that when the piston coming towards top dead center, pressure increases. Once the piston reaches to top dead center, this is the top dead center, this is the top dead center. After that there is some volume that is called a clearance volume. Once the piston reaches to top dead center, spark initiate through the spark plug. Once the spark initiate, this air fuel mixture burn, and it liberates high pressure and high temperature gas. And this high temperature and high pressure gas, that means heat addition. After piston reaches to top dead center, the spark initiate and flame travels to the end of the charge, and complete combustion takes place at the TDC itself, and these gases will push the piston downward. So this will happen in the theoretical case. That means after compression the piston is at TDC. After TDC, spark initiate and the pressure and temperature increases suddenly, and that means the combustion is instantaneous combustion occur. After that expansion takes place. So this is the ideal case, theoretical case, but for complete combustion it needs some time. When the piston is at top dead center, spark initiate, that means after spark initiate it takes some time to reach to the end portion. By the time piston starts move downward, that is called expansion stroke. In the expansion stroke, the flame starts move to and reach to the end of the cylinder. So that means there is some time taken to reach the flame from spark plug to the end portion. Okay, so that means the actual P theta curve, that is pressure and crank angle, is also called as a P theta curve. The actual P theta curve is not like that, but it is like this. See, if I give the spark before TDC, that means during compression stroke itself, at the end of compression, that means when the piston starts move towards top dead center during compression, the spark initiate. This is the spark here, that means around 28 degrees. This is not a fixed value, it is tentative, and it is changing with respect to the engines, and it is changing from company to the company. Most of the companies following this 28 degrees. Once the spark given at TDC, 28 degrees before TDC, that means during compression stroke, by the time piston reaches to top dead center, that means by the time piston reaches to top dead center, some amount of the gas already burned and remaining gas is burned after TDC. That means the maximum pressure and temperature occur. That means the maximum pressure and temperature occur after TDC. That means during expansion stroke. So we will study these things in detail. Now let me consider three stages in the combustion. The first stage is the start of the point where the spark starts, from the point where the P theta curve separates from the motoring curve. This is the motoring curve. If I don't give the spark here, the curve will go like this, without burning, without participating in the combustion. The expansion follows like this. So this is non-firing curve or motoring curve. So these 2 points considered as one state point 1, that is called ignition lag, and after that, after the ignition lag, the flame starts. This flame will propagate from spark plug to the end of the charge. So that means this is the second stage, that is called propagation of the flame. It is a very important stage of the combustion in SI engine. After reaching maximum pressure and temperature, we cannot conclusively tell that the maximum amount of heat is released from the fuel. We cannot conclusively tell that, because after burning also there are some chemical adjustment occur. Already we have discussed this topic in dissociation losses or chemical equilibrium losses. After burning, that stage is called after burning. After this point, that means in the third stage of burning, third stage of combustion, that is in the after burning, the gas is already burned, but they will, after chemical adjustment during a reassociation process, the gases mix together and release heat further. So that is called after burning. So now we will detail study one by one each other. Now ignition lag. What is meant by ignition lag? The first stage. The growth and development of semi-propagating flame called ignition lag, or we can simply call it as a preparation phase. That means to make combustion we need to prepare the mixer. To make a flame to propagate through it, we need to prepare the mixer. So for that stage we call it as ignition lag. So ignition lag is nothing but the preparation phase or pre-flame reactions. That means you can simply call them as pre-flame reactions occur in ignition lag. Now, so the next one is how combustion starts and how combustion is propagate in combustion chamber. This is correct. For example, the cylinder space and the time required to reach the end portion, flame to reach end portion, and the distance of flame travel across the chamber, that is in the percentage of distance covered by the flame inside the combustion chamber, that is cylinder. That means time required here and distance traveled. So in the first 20% of the time for the total combustion time, ignition lag, that means in the first 20% this flame covers only 10%. After that, in the second stage, the flame covers around 95% of the space of the combustion chamber. That means by the end of second stage, this flames will go almost at the end of the combustion chamber. That means it covers almost all. That means almost all burning takes place in the second stage itself. That is called propagation of the flame. In the second stage, that is called propagation of the flame. Now in the third stage, after burning only 95 to 100, that is only 5% of the area is covered. If whatever reassociation, chemical equilibrium losses all occur, and after that because of the reassociation some amount of heat is liberated, and if any other particles are there which are unburned in the second phase, they will burn and the completion of the combustion occur in the third stage, that is after burning. So that is why second stage is the main stage for combustion in SI engine. Now we will see in detail the factors affecting the ignition lag. So these are the three phases. First we will study what are the factors which is affecting ignition lag. The first one is ignition lag, and what are the factors affecting ignition lag. So ignition lag is around 10 degrees to the 20 degrees. It is actually generally 10 degrees to or 20 degrees of crank angle, and if we measure in terms of time, it is 0.0015 seconds. So factors affecting ignition lag. First considered as the fuel. The higher the self-ignition temperature of fuel, lower the ignition lag. So if the fuel having high self-ignition temperature, it have less ignition lag. Second one is a mixture ratio. Generally, see, the ignition lag is smallest for the mixture ratio, which gives maximum temperature. So that means if I consider one mixture, maybe rich mixture, maybe lean mixture, the mixture is giving maximum temperature, that mixture will have less ignition lag, because ignition lag mostly depends upon the temperature. If the maximum is the temperature inside the combustion chamber, lesser will be the ignition lag. So already we have studied this in effect of mixture ratio on maximum temperature. So the maximum temperature occur at 10% of the rich mixture. That means 110% mixture is rich, 10% richer than stoichiometry, it will give maximum temperature where you will get ignition lag very small. So the ignition lag is very, very small and the mixture is 110% rich. Now the third one is intake temperature and intake pressure. See, chemical reactions greatly depends upon temperature and slightly depends on pressure. The rate of chemical reactions being small at low temperatures. That means when the temperature inside the cylinder are low, the chemical reactions being small, and these chemical reactions increases with increase in the temperature inside the combustion chamber. The faster reactions generally faster chemical reactions occur at high temperatures. So if the chemical reactions are faster, already I told you, this ignition lag is the preparation phase. If the temperature is more chemical reactions occur, and more chemical reactions occur means more, if more chemical reactions occur means lesser will be the ignition lag. So when ignition lag is small, that is very suitable for us. So that means to get maximum to get less ignition delay, we need to have more chemical reactions. That means faster are the chemical reactions. These chemical reactions are faster at high temperatures. High temperatures occur 10% richer than stoichiometric. So that's why ignition lag is very less at 10% of the stoichiometric. And the next one is, that means if the intake temperature increases, chemical reactions increases. If chemical reaction increases, ignition lag decreases. That's it. The next one is turbulence. See, the turbulence is not much affecting the ignition lag. See, but if we increase the turbulence, that means excessive turbulence will harmful a lot, because if the excessive turbulence are there near to the spark plug, the development of the, that means here if the turbulence are more near to the spark plug, the development of the flame is unstable. So unstable flame will leads to incomplete combustion. That is once again lost. So turbulence are not much affecting the ignition lag. So this is about the ignition lag. Now I go to discuss the third one, the second one, propagation of the flame. So these are the factors affecting the propagation of the flame. So these are the factors affecting the propagation of the flame. Actually, flame speed is more, that is suitable. The suitable desirable characteristic feature is higher will be the flame propagation. Higher will be the speed. If higher will be the speed of the flame, so faster will be the propagation or combustion speed, so that knocking tendency is also reduced. So what are the factors affecting the flame propagation? So these are the major factors. The first one is fuel air ratio. If I consider fuel air ratio, for example, if I supply lean mixture to the engine, so in the lean mixture less amount of fuel is there, more amount of oxygen is there, so that less thermal energy release. So less thermal energy means automatically temperature is less. When temperature is less, automatically the flame speed is reduced. And if I supply rich mixture, too much rich mixture into the cylinder, less oxygen is available. If less oxygen is available, what happen? Less thermal energy is released because of incomplete combustion. If less oxygen is there, incomplete combustion occur, so that you'll get less temperature, so that again flame speed is again reduced. But you will get a maximum flame speed occur 10% richer than the stoichiometric. That means 10% richer than stoichiometric means which gives maximum temperature, as we discussed earlier. So the maximum temperature occur when the mixture is 10% richer. So that means when I get maximum temperature at 10% richer, the flame speed is reduced. See the mixture ratio, mixture strength versus time taken for the flame to reach end portion. See, if the time taken to reach end portion is less, means velocity is more. That means speed of the flame is more. If the speed of the flame is more, time taken to reach the end portion is reduced. So for the mixture having too much rich mixture, this is too much rich mixture having more time, and too much lean mixture is having again more time, because too much rich mixture also giving less temperature, too much lean mixture is also giving less temperature, less maximum temperature. So that means what happened, the maximum temperature occur when the mixture is 10% richer than the stoichiometric at this point. So that's why I'll get less time, not even 0.001 second, it is quite less than 0.01 second. That means very less time I will get when the mixture is 10% richer than the stoichiometry. Time is less means time taken for reaching the flame to the end portion is less, means speed is more. If the speed is more, means automatically time is less. So this is the meaning of air fuel ratio. And similarly, if I discuss the pressure and crank angle P theta curve, if I see the rich mixture, if the mixture is rich mixture and this mixture is stoichiometric mixture and this mixture is weak mixture, this is the P theta curve, pressure and crank angle. So if I give the spark for the three different mixers, I give the spark at the same point, but time taken to reach maximum temperature is very high for weak mixture and somewhat high for rich mixture, but it is very less. That means the maximum pressure occurs. If the gap is less, means indicating less time is needed. So this means this maximum temperature and maximum pressure. That means completion of the propagation of the flame completes in less time when I use stoichiometric, or if I use 10% richer than the stoichiometric, I will get very less time than this one also. So with weak mixture, the time taken for complete combustion is very more, and with rich mixture is also time is somewhat more, but with stoichiometric time is very less, and with the help of 10% more than stoichiometric, 10% richer than stoichiometric, you will get very less time. So that means fuel air ratio, if you use 10% more than stoichiometric air fuel ratio, we will get high velocity flame. And the next one is a compression ratio. This is also very important factor. If I considered a variable compression ratio with the same mixture strength and same ignition time, that means spark time. If I supply the same spark here, if I supply the spark same and for 3 compression ratio at the same time, that means same angle before TDC. If I supply the spark at the same time for 3 compression ratio, so this line indicates compression ratio 4/1, that is compression ratio 4, and this line indicates the compression ratio 5, and this line indicates compression ratio 6. So the mean effective pressure is also slowly increasing. Okay, let it be. Now let me compare. This is the variable compression ratio with the same mixture strength. That means the mixture strength is constant and ignition time is also constant. That means to indicate the compression ratio effect on flame propagation, I just need to fix these two, mixture strength as well as spark timing. I am fixing the mixture strength and spark timing constant, and I am varying the compression ratio to see the effect of flame speed in the combustion chamber of IC engine, especially petrol engine. Now if I give the spark at this point for the 3 cases, the 3 cases are also having same mixture strength. So for the mixture, for the compression ratio 4, compression ratio means already guys, Vs plus Vc by Vc, that means total cylinder volume by clearance volume. This is the clearance volume. The total cylinder volume by clearance volume. It is 4:1 means it is 4/1. That is 4. Compression ratio with compression ratio 4, I will get I can achieve. Otherwise, I can say the time taken to reach the flame from spark plug to the end portion is 49 degrees of crank angle. That means this crank angle degrees. Or in the time I can say 0.0054 seconds. That means 0.0054 seconds are needed for me to send the flame from here to the end portion. If I increase the compression ratio, the time is reduced, the crank angle time is reduced, and the time is 0.0045 seconds. That means crank angle is also reduced, time is also reduced to 0.0045 seconds. From earlier it is 0.0054, it is 0.0045 seconds. Time is reduced. And if the further increase the compression ratio to 6, then I will get further reduction in time. That means the time taken for complete combustion, or I can say that time taken to reach the flame from spark plug to the end portion, about the directions. So that means if I increase the compression ratio to 6, I will get the flame in 0.0037 seconds itself to the end portion. That means the flame can reach the end portion in 0.0037 seconds only. That means the crank angle time is also reduced. This effect is happen because when the compression ratio increase, the maximum temperature and pressure inside the cylinder are increased. When the maximum temperature and maximum pressure increases, ignition lag also reduces. And that too, flame propagation also easy when the temperature is more. When the temperature is more, the flame easily propagate through the fresh charge inside the cylinder. That means with the increase in the compression ratio, increases the temperature and pressure. When the increase in the temperature and pressure leads to reduce the ignition lag, that is one advantage. And another advantage is increasing the flame speed also. When the temperature is more, and now I am completely discussing about the flame propagation. So when the temperature is increasing, automatically what happens? When the temperature inside the cylinder is increased, so that it can travel easily. That means it can travel very high speed. So that means the increase in compression ratio increases the flame propagation. Now intake temperature and pressure. So already we have discussed intake temperature and pressure. If the intake temperature increases, automatically the maximum temperature inside the cylinder also increases. That leads to increase the flame speed. Now engine load. If the engine load and the engine increases, automatically temperature and pressure also increases. If more is the load, automatically more pressure and more temperature occur inside the cylinder. So when more temperature is available, flame speed is also increases. So increasing the engine load increases the flame propagation. And turbulence. Turbulence plays a dominant role in the flame propagation. So more turbulence leads to, if the turbulence filling movement is more inside the chamber, so that the flame can easily travel. But if the too much excessive turbulence will lead to increase the heat transfer to the cylinder walls. That is another advantage. So the turbulence should be optimum. That means to get maximum flame speed, we need to increase the turbulence. That means increase the turbulence, increase the flame speed. But if you increase further, that means too much turbulences leads to, too much turbulences leads to what we call increase the heat transfer to the cylinder walls. And another disadvantage is also there. If too much excessive turbulence are there, that leads to unstable flame will develop, that leads to incomplete combustion. So that means the turbulence should increase, but that should be optimum. The increase in turbulence leads to increase the flame propagation up to some extent. Next, engine speed. If the speed increases, automatically turbulence increase. When turbulence increase, automatically flame speed increase, as discussed earlier. Engine size. This is very important parameter. Already many students confusing here is, when engine size increases, that means the diameter of the cylinder increases. Especially if I think that the diameter of the cylinder increases, they may think that the distance increases, so that flame speed is reduced. No, flame speed is not reduced, because all engines are designed with mean piston speed of 2 ln, mean piston speed of 2 ln. So maybe more diameter, more length, that means size is more, less is the RPM. Or I can say L is size is less, more is the RPM. But this factor is almost constant for almost similar kind of engines. So mean piston speed is constant means, mean piston speed is constant means velocity inside the cylinder and flame speed all are constant. But with increase in the engine size, there is no effect on flame speed. But when the distance increases, for example, if the diameter is doubled, automatically the distance traveled is also doubled. For a constant speed, if distance is doubled, automatically time taken to reach the end portion is also doubled. If the diameter of the cylinder is doubled, the time taken for the flame to reach the end portion is doubled. But speed is constant. Keep that point in mind. But speed is constant. If the size increase, but actually the size of the engine does not disturb the flame speed. But time taken to reach the end portion is increases as the size increases. If the size is more, time taken is more. If the size is less, time taken is less as the distance changes. But flame speed is constant. It is not changing with respect to the engine speed. Thank you.